She notes that the series, in its inception, contrasts the colonial past with a cosmopolitan future. One might note, for instance, the multi-ethnic casting of stories such as The 10th Planet, but also that in this future, everyone seems to have unquestioningly embraced a Western, which is a word I absolutely hate because it basically tends to get used as shorthand for the USA and a few bits of Europe. But you know, as shorthand for the USA and a few bits of Europe, it stands here. Anyway, a Western capitalist, democratic, and technocratic way of life. She sums it up by saying, the urge to a cosmopolitanism of many colors, one culture, is thus naturalized and essentialized. There are no deep power relations. There is only eternal humanity, different in color but united in all other respects. This is no melting pot. It is no salad bowl. The appropriate metaphor comes from Doctor Who's most famous foodstuff. Humanity in a many-colored jelly babies inside a colorless white paper bag. And the image I've used to illustrate this here, I'll step back again so that because there's no real angle, I can simultaneously read, present, and give everybody a clear view of the screen. The image I've used here is from Resurrection of the Daleks, and this kind of epitomizes it. You know, it's a multi-ethnic cast, and you know, a very positive multi-ethnic cast. That guy there in the background is essentially the closest thing this story's got to a hero. But that's it. You know, it is very much, you know, otherwise it is very much a kind of an Anglo-American setup, you know, just because everybody happens to be different colors, you know, they may as well not be. You know, it's very much a kind of that sort of setup. So she argues this cosmopolitanism extends to the title character himself. The Doctor is the symbolic cosmopolitan. His opposition to racism manifests as color blindness. He is a hero of liberal individualism from the school of being nice to each other. He possesses near omniscience and near omnipotence that scientists and imperialists can only aspire to, but like them, his tools are Western science and Western morality. Though ostensibly anti-establishment, this all-encompassing vision makes his cosmopolis equivalent to empire. This, Orthia argues, leads to a moral compass for the series which inadvertently serves as a failure to condemn colonialism and colonialist institutions. In Doctor Who, the specific circumstances of evil are supremely irrelevant. Colonialism is a manifestation of evil, but only because bad people did bad things to others. If there are problems after colonization ends, it is just because there are still bad people, as there always will be. Slavery was just ignorance, Hitler was a bounder, but everything is all right again now. Evil is thus individualized by its monolithic unity. The Doctor must keep knocking down each individual instance of generic evil and facing the next. There is no end to it, there is no beginning, there is no middle, there is no locatedness, there is no temporality, there is absolutely no change. And if you think of kind of the way a typical episode of Doctor Who rolls out, that's usually the way. You know, kind of he goes, he challenges something, he overthrows a bad leader, or you know, replaces something that's bad, and then goes off and doesn't actually address the systematic. You know, it would be arguably a much more boring series if the Doctor spent hundreds of years kind of painstakingly undermining colonialism. But on the other hand, it is a fair point that you can't just kind of overthrow Queen Xanxia and have everybody go yay. You know, they probably actually not a good example to pick because that one's a pretty complicated story and we haven't got time to talk about it. But you know what I mean. It's actually pretty rare that we do get a story like the Ark where there is a revisiting, and as Alec Charles noted, the Ark kind of drops the ball on the idea that you know, that maybe there's some kind of systematic issue here that the Doctor should be addressing, not just kind of overthrowing whoever happens to be the overlord and running. Okay, so now we're going to look at the Doctor Who, classic series Doctor Who, broadly in terms of three eras, colonialist, anti-colonialist, and post-colonialist.